So, you're now living in a police state. Huzzah! But what does that mean?
Newsflash, we're screwed.
Oh, hold on now. Let's not get too hasty. Because maybe a fascist dictatorship is not as bad as it seems. Earlier this week, MPs voted through the Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Bill 2021. Catchy name. Which, in short, seeks to criminalise peaceful protest. This comes after a vigil last weekend for Sarah Everard was aggressively interrupted by Met Police, sparking outrage from the public over the persistent issue of male violence and violence against women and girls. But forget about all that! It's not important. The one thing this new bill does cover, thankfully, is the guaranteed safety of the real victims at this turbulent time. That's right, I'm talking about statues. For years, monuments depicting historical, rich, white men have stood proudly in our towns and cities as a constant reminder that colonialism is cool. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of slavery? But now, the safety of our statues is under threat. And I, for one, am glad that the police protective efforts are being diverted from human girls and women and onto blocks of overweight concrete. Haven't they had enough? And thankfully, this new bill means that if you deface a public statue, you could get up to 10 years in prison. 10 years. That seems like a bit much, doesn't it? That can't be right. Mike, can we check it? Cheers. Yeah, 10 years. That's a lot, isn't it? How much for rape? 5. Yeah, 5 for rape. Well, it does make sense. Because a living woman isn't the bust of a rich white guy who's been dead for 100 years. Makes sense! That's right. Punishments in this new bill include vandalising a statue, 10 years in jail, creating a public nuisance, 10 years in jail, using a megaphone at Parliament, £5,000 fine, residing in a protest camp, £2,500 fine, 3 months in jail, one person protest, £2,500 fine, 1 year in jail. I'm particularly supportive of the nuisance clause, the word nuisance in relation to a person being defined as one that is annoying, unpleasant, or obnoxious. They might have shot themselves in the foot there. But in all honesty, I, for one, can't think of anything more dangerous than somebody yelling. It is f***ing terrifying. Far more dangerous than, say, using herd immunity as a method of dealing with coronavirus.
Kick it on the chin.
That willful negligence having caused over 120,000 deaths so far more dangerous than over a decade of sadistically imposed austerity measures, which has driven millions to poverty and death. Far more dangerous than the precedent set that women of all ages and backgrounds should not deserve to feel safe on our streets, and that the real blame is what they're wearing and not on the men causing them harm. Hashtag not all men, hashtag I'm also a Far more dangerous than Johnson's announcement this week that the UK's nuclear weapons stockpile will raise by more than 40% at a cost of £10 billion. Money well spent, I say. A lot of people are criticising the government for spending money on arms instead of giving exhausted and underappreciated NHS staff a pay rise. For literally saving all our lives single-handedly during this pandemic in the face of unabashed government incompetence. So make sure you keep clapping, people! Though in all this, there is a legal loophole you might want to be aware of to get around all this pesky potential jail time. Basically, if you're able to just be a white, male, conservative member of parliament and break the law by throwing billions of taxpayers' money at your mates without divulging any details, then nothing happens. No, nothing. You get away with it. The media won't even talk about it. They're too busy shaming a woman of colour for calling out alleged racism in the royal family, whilst this brave soul storms off a morning show.
Sorry, can't do this.
Absolutely.
That's the real story here, not the UK government slowly eroding your rights and freedoms, made easier by the complete lack of accountability to anyone as a result of Brexit alienation. The BBC cancelling satirical news show The MASH Report after new boss Tim Davie cries impartiality, despite being a former Conservative councillor. No, don't look over there. Don't get angry and pissed off. Don't even raise your voice. Because if you do, we'll clap you in irons. And we should all be heeding the warning of Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab, who is worried that around the globe, democracy is in retreat. The day after, he personally voted for one of the most draconian obstructions to our democratic rights in this country's history. And I guess that nobody told the Tories that old JFK quote that goes, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable." Well, I'm sure that doesn't apply here. Now, let's quickly check in with the leader of the opposition.
We will support them.
No, not that one. Or that one.
I'm with you in the streets, and we're gonna win.
That's the one.